People talk a lot about moving abroad, but not enough about who it turns you into.
Okay,
Okay.
Key.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to OK Key. If you're new here, I'm Key, the creator of Adventures While Black, along with my partner and my husband, Peace. All right. So, we host a community organization based in Thailand, and we've done so for over 2 years now. In this space, we talk real life, real lessons, and the stuff people don't always say out loud. On today's episode, too, I want to talk about what 7 years of living in Thailand has actually taught me. And when I say taught me, I don't just mean like where to go and what to eat or how to survive the heat, okay? I mean like what living here has taught me about people, about peace, about boundaries, about community, growth, and honestly, taught me about myself. Because I think when people talk about moving abroad, they mostly talk about the shiny parts, right? They talk about like the views, they talk about the cheaper lifestyle, they talk about the freedom, they talk about how beautiful it is. They definitely talk about the food and, how cheap it is. Or they'll be like, just move abroad. I did it. Come on. Like for real. And some of that is true. Like Thailand has given me beautiful experiences. It's stretched me, it's blessed me, it's definitely shown me so much. But what I feel like people don't talk enough about is like how living abroad will really put you in front of yourself. Like it'll show you who you are when you don't have the same support system, especially if you're like a solo traveler. It'll show you who you are when things get quiet, which can happen often. And that's even if you have a partner, a friend, or a family member here with you. It'll show you who you are when you have to build a life from scratch. Who you are when the fantasy wears off and now real life has to be lived. I'm talking like some real character development, some crash course on the job, living in and experiencing the moment training. And after like living here for 7 years, I can honestly say that Thailand didn't just change my location, it changed me. So I want to get into a few of the biggest things that this journey has taught me. The first thing that Thailand has taught me is that living abroad will introduce you to parts of yourself you didn't even know were there. Now, let me tell you, this one is real because when you move abroad, especially like long term, you don't like just get a new view. You get a new mirror, right? You start learning how to respond to uncertainty. You start learning how to adapt. You start learning what actually matters to you. You start seeing what really needs healing within yourself. You start realizing what parts of you were strong all along and what parts of you maybe only worked in the environment that you were used to. Because sometimes we can get real complacent, which in turn can make us real comfortable. And I don't believe much growth comes from being comfortable. I feel like you have to learn to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. And living abroad has a way of like stripping all that fluff away anyway. And sometimes it'll hurt you. Like it'll have you questioning your life choices. Like, did I even make the right decision with this move? As you have time to reflect, it'll humble you, it'll sharpen you, and it will reveal you, if you pay attention. There's parts of me that became stronger because I literally had no choice. There's parts of me that became softer because I learned that force is not always the answer. And there's parts of me that became like wiser because, like, honestly, life abroad will teach you by experience, whether you ask for the lesson or not. So for me, that's the first thing. Thailand taught me that moving abroad is not just an external experience. It's a deeply internal one too. Like, hear me out here. Talk about some growth, okay? The second thing that Thailand has taught me is that peace is worth way more than appearances. Now, this one right here, this one grew on me like over time because I think that when people first move abroad, or even when they're just dreaming about moving abroad, it's really easy to get caught up in the look of it all, like the aesthetic, the lifestyle, the I live in Thailand of it all, the rooftop moments, the cute content creating, the novelty, the excitement. Again, like none of this is bad. I'm not knocking any of it because I was doing it when I first got here and I still do a lot of it too. But after a while, life becomes life, no matter where you are. You start sliding into those daily routines, and what starts to matter more is not what looks good, but what actually feels good, what feels safe, what feels peaceful, what feels aligned, what feels nourishing, what feels sustainable. And Thailand taught me that I do not want to build a beautiful life that costs me my peace. Let me just go ahead and say that again because that's a word. I do not want to build a beautiful life that costs me my peace. And I think that lesson hits in friendships, in business, in community, in opportunities, in where you go, in who you allow around you, in like who you choose to be around, in what you keep forcing because it looks good on paper or it sounds good to other people. Or even like in social circles where like people can tend to get clicked up for the sake of obtaining status amongst others in the creative industry. I've learned to ask myself, does this really feel good to me? Does what I'm doing actually bring me peace? Or do I just like the idea of it? To be able to say that I do or I did it. That lesson alone will save you so much. And honestly, like I don't have time for many friendships, but in the ones that I do have, I cherish them. I'd prefer them to be nourishing, uplifting, and fruitful, but most of all, peaceful. My nervous system should not be unwavering and uneasy in any friendships that I have. Now, the third thing that Thailand taught me is that everybody is not your people just because both of y'all are abroad. Now, come on in the room and let me talk about it just for a minute because I'm not going to lie. This is one of those things that people don't always want to say out loud, and that's okay because I'm going to do it for you. So when you live abroad, especially if you're in a place where there's a visible expat scene or a visible Black expat scene, people can tend to bond fast. And that's a beautiful thing sometimes. Like, really, sometimes it really is. Sometimes people become family. Sometimes community forms in powerful ways. Sometimes people meet exactly when they need each other. But sometimes people will connect out of convenience or out of loneliness or out of projection, out of wanting access to you, out of familiarity, out of proximity. And those are not always the same as alignment. Just because somebody is in Thailand does not mean that they're your people. Just because y'all are both Black and abroad does not mean that there's an automatic trust. Just because y'all both left home does not mean that y'all move the same. Just because somebody smiles in your face does not mean that they're meant to be close to you. Basically, what I'm trying to say is all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Y'all already know what I'm trying to say. So with that, Thailand has taught me discernment. And discernment is not bitterness. It's not being stuck or hung up on any one thing. It's not thinking that you're better than anybody. No, nope. Discernment is wisdom. And I've learned that proximity is not alignment. Access is not entitlement. And shared geography is not the same thing as shared values. I am being so real with y'all right now. And honestly, I think living abroad made me even more aware of energy, of how people move, because when you're building a life somewhere that's far from home, who you allow into your space matters even more. Your time, your energy is sacred, and it should be treated as such. All right. The fourth thing that Thailand has taught me is that community is beautiful, but boundaries are necessary. And y'all know that community means a lot to me. I built Adventures While Black out of that. So I believe in it. I value it deeply. I know what it means for somebody to feel seen, welcomed, connected in a foreign place, right? That sincerely matters to me for real. But what I've also learned is that if you love community and you're a natural giver, you have to be very careful that community doesn't turn into some form of overextension, because people will take what you naturally give and they will start treating it like it's something that they're owed. People will benefit from your warmth and they will start expecting unlimited access to you. They will have the nerve to expect a lot from you. Like, people will attend an event and enjoy what you created, and they will forget that somebody had to carry the emotional labor, the consistency, the planning, the energy, the follow up, the leadership, the responsibility of keeping it going week after week. Like, community is absolutely beautiful, and building one that organically thrives, especially in another country, is a dream come true. But boundaries protect the person who built the table. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that I can love people and still say no. And when I first started saying no, I felt guilty on the inside, always feeling like the community needed me for resources, for questions, for help. But I also had to understand that there was always going to be someone who just got here and needed help. I learned that I can create space for others and still protect my own. I can be welcoming and still be discerning. I can be kind and still have standards. I can build community and still stay over here in my lane. But it took me some time to accept that. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. Sometimes I still do teeter on the edge because, like, when you care, you want everybody to feel good. That's like my level of customer service for my Adventures While Black community. But Thailand taught me that boundaries are not the opposite of community. They're a part of a healthy community. And when I think about it like that, it gives me more of a pleasant feeling when I'm saying no. So that's what I'm going to go with. And the fifth thing that Thailand has taught me, this is the last thing, is that you really can build a life that fits you. Now, this lesson might be my favorite lesson of all, because when I first got here, I could not have predicted all the ways that my life would unfold, right? I could not have predicted all the pivots that I'd have, the growth, the stretching, the risks, the lessons, the people that I'd encounter, the disappointments, the beautiful surprises. But over time, I built a life here. And it's not a perfect life, not an easy life, but it's definitely a real one. A life with meaning, a life with intention, a life with community, a life with stories, a life with lessons, a life that has asked a lot of me, but it has also given a lot back to me. And I think that's important because sometimes people think that building a life abroad means like escaping yourself. And I don't agree with that. Really, I feel like it's the healthiest version of building something that is actually aligned with who you're becoming. Like, it really is a whole mental thing. It's way more than just physically being here. Like, you cannot come here and be complacent. Thailand gave me room to create. It gave me room to expand. It gave me room to experiment. It gave me room to become more honest about what I want and what I don't want, and what kind of life that I actually do want to live. And that alone has been a gift. When you get to a part of your life and you can be observant, step out of yourself and actually reflect and take the time to adjust to what you see, like, shit is super dope. Now, so, like, all of these lessons that I've expressed, none of them like came wrapped in any form of way. These are all experiences that I've had here and mistakes that I've made and that I've learned from. So now I literally have a lesson list. You know, like for real, like a lot of these lessons came through like joy, some came through trial, some came through disappointment and beautiful connections that I was able to make. And some of them came through some real hard truths. But every single one of them shaped me. Thailand has taught me resilience. It taught me discernment. It taught me adaptability. It taught me how to read energy better. It taught me how valuable peace really is. It taught me that real community is rare and precious. And it taught me that building a meaningful life requires more than aesthetics. It requires attention and intention. So when I say 7 years in Thailand has taught me a lot, I mean that deeply. Like it taught me about the world, yes. But even more than that, it taught me about me. It taught me who I am when things are uncertain. It taught me what I value when nobody is telling me who to be. It taught me how to choose peace over performance. It taught me how to stay open without being naive. It taught me how to keep building while also protecting my spirit. And I'm still learning, y'all. Like, that is the honest truth. I am still learning and I'm still growing. But I can say with confidence that living here has changed me in ways that I will carry for the rest of my life. I definitely have like some Thai style ways of doing things that you just are not going to get me to stop from doing. So if you've ever lived abroad or moved to a new place or gone through a season that has stretched you and changed you, I'd love to know, what did that season teach you about yourself? Because y'all know me. I am still learning and I'm still growing and I'm not afraid to say it. All right, y'all. So that's it for this episode of OK Key. Please give me a like and subscribe if y'all want to continue on this ride. As always, I suggest you stay in your lane, protect your peace, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.